Good morning, I am Benjamin Pogotyan. I am expert of Center for Political and Economic Strategic Studies, Armenian think tank. Our think tank is launching the video podcast series Armenian Perspective on Regional and International Security Issues. We believe that our podcasts will be useful for international and Armenian audience to better understand the Armenian independent experts thinking on key issues of regional and international security. Our first podcast is devoted to the key priorities of Armenian national security. We believe that number one priority for Armenian state is the modernization. Of course, Armenia has a lot of geopolitical problems. No war, no peace situation with Azerbaijan, closed border with Turkey, neighboring Iran and Georgia, of course, entails some other difficulties too. But we believe that number one issue, as I mentioned, is the state modernization. Why? Because Armenia inherited the post-Soviet legacy. We have the lack of transparency, we have lack of good governance, we have rampant corruption, and all these have very negative impact on Armenia. And even if somehow Armenia is going to solve the Nagorno-Karabakh problem, and even if Armenia is going to open its border with Turkey, we believe that without state modernization, the main issues of Armenia cannot be solved. And in this regard, Armenia has to intensify its cooperation with Euro-Atlantic communities. Why? We all know that Armenia is within the sphere of Russian influence. Armenia is a member of Russian-led military organization, Collective Security Treaty Organization, and Armenia is a member of Russian-led economic organization, Eurasian Economic Union. Taking into account all geopolitical difficulties facing Armenia, it's understandable why Armenia has close relations with Russia, why Armenia has military base, why Armenia has Russian military base deployed here, and why Armenia has close security cooperation. But we believe that the number one supporter of Armenian path towards the state modernization is not Russia itself, because Russia has all same problems which are facing Armenia, and unfortunately Russia cannot support Armenia in efforts to modernize the state. In this regard, the number one priority is to deepen the relations with EU and with the United States. Of course, taking into account the current stalemate in US-Russia, EU-Russia, Russia-NATO relations, it's a difficult path. But if Armenia is not going to launch a deep and comprehensive modernization package, Armenia will face difficulties in all spheres, and it will be very difficult to solve any major problem facing Armenia. In 2013, Armenia was going to sign the association agreement with the EU, but under the Russian pressure, due to the strained relations between Russia-EU and Russia-US, Armenia was forced to postpone the signing of association agreement. Now, the new agreement, Comprehensive EU-Armenia Agreement, was initialed in March 2017. It is going to be signed in November 2017 in Eastern Partnership Brussels Summit. We believe that not only Armenia should do everything which is in its scope to sign the agreement, but the more important, not only the signature, but also the implementation of reforms which are envisaged under this agreement. The European reforms launched in Armenia can help Armenia modernize its state, modernize its society, and create capabilities to fight against immigration, to fight against corruption, and fight against all other social diseases which are penetrating Armenian society. Only in this case we believe that Armenia can join the community of modernized and developed nations. Thank you, and we will have other podcasts too.